Hi, welcome to Mommas and Mannies. I'm your host, Trina. This is a short form podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of energy, a little bit of motivation, whatever you may be looking for. But before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button. Make sure you're sharing this week's episode and just the podcast in general with another mama. Make sure you're following us and hitting the bell for notifications so you'll know when we come out with new information and new shows, reels, shorts, everything to give you some help working through your day as a mom. But before we get started, let's go ahead and start off with the motivational quote. This week is just a quote. I guess it could be motivational, but it's a quote. I just Googled quotes and this is what came up. The quote is, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. When you are tired, your body and mind need to recover and recharge. This is actually a good statement, a quote, whatever you want to call it. Again, it says, sometimes the most productive thing you can do is rest. When you are tired, your body and mind need to recover and recharge. This is great. I want you to rewind the episode, get an index card, a piece of paper, something, and make sure you write that down. I'll definitely have that as the Tuesday tea posted on my Facebook account, but make sure you write that down. It is okay to rest. I got tongue tied. You want to make sure you are recharging your body because that's something that needs to be done on a daily basis. But guess what time it is? It's mama time. So this week's mama time, we are going to just go through what a day looks like. Today is Monday, so I'm just going to go over what my Mondays usually look like. The episode came out, of course, this morning, so this was more of my last week's Monday. Usually what I'll do, I wake up before everyone else in my household. I get my kids up at about between 6:15 and 6:30, depending on if I need to do their hair or something like that. But I go ahead and wake my kids up around that time. So if I wake them up between 6:15 and 6:30, that means I have to get up at least by 5:45 so I can have 30 minutes to myself. When I wake up, I like to stretch in the bed, or usually I'm stretching in the bed. I don't do a lot of stretching outside of the bed at home in the morning when I first wake up. Then go downstairs, go ahead and boil some water for my tea. And I also drink 24 ounces of water. I just take one of these and drink the water. My tea is usually like in a 8-ounce cup. So I go ahead and drink those. So that means I have to pee. So in that little time before we get out the house, before we go to school, I have to pee a whole bunch. But I like to start my day off with water. I also take a multivitamin just to make sure I have a little bit to start the day with. I do intermittent fasting. So I at least try to do 12 hours. I probably end up doing more than that because we're usually eating about, depending on what we have to do in the afternoon, between 5 and 6. And I usually go to the gym maybe between 8 and 9 o'clock. So I'm not really eating till 10. So what is that? That's like 14, 15 hours. And I'm not hungry. Also, I do not like to eat before I work out. I have done it before. Like if I worked overnight and then I'm going to a spin class after I get off work, I've tried to eat just like a pack of mixed nuts. During spin class, I felt like I was going to puke. So I don't eat. I would probably say I may be able to do it before like a body works class where that's mostly like weights, squats and things like that. But if it's going to be spin or something with a whole bunch of movement, running, something like that, I can't. I feel like I'm about to puke. So in the morning, I do that. Make sure I read my Bible, read a devotional. that's my time to myself. Of course, I go ahead and get dressed. Um, Make sure I have on my moisturizer, brush my teeth, things like that. That's taken care of, and then I go ahead and wake my kids up. Now, my kids are still young. My soon to be 8-year old, my oldest daughter, she can really, once we wake her up, she'll lay in the bed maybe 5 minutes, but she'll go ahead and get up out the bed, brush her teeth, use the bathroom, wash her face. Sometimes she even takes a shower, make sure she has everything she needs on, like Vaseline, lotion, whatever. So she'll usually do that on her own and get dressed with no problem. My youngest one, I think I've talked about this in the past. She is a lot of work. You have to continually ask her, go ahead and get on up. We have threatened her, and we've actually taken all her stuffies. She only has one stuffy to go to bed with, so she's doing a little bit better. But, she does the same thing. She usually doesn't take a shower in the morning, but it just takes her forever. She just moves slow in the morning. She moves like a little sloth. So we have to continually tell her that. If I don't have to do their hair, great. They can just come downstairs. They have water cups that they take to school, so they like to put ice in them. I put a lemon slice in there, and they like that. They go ahead and put their ice in their water inside their cups. They're good to go. And then we all get in a car, drive to school, drop them off. They have to be at school by 8 o'clock. So for the most part, we can get there between 7:45 and 7:55. And after that, I go ahead and hit the gym up. Nothing big. Like I said, on spin classes, they start on that day. It starts at 9:15. So if I get to the gym at about 8:30, I go ahead and do some light weights just to really get my body moving. If it's a Monday, I may walk on the treadmill for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, just where I haven't done that much activity over the weekend. Now, if at work, I am walking every day, like 15 minutes or so, just to move my body and to move my legs more, I'm okay. But usually before spin, I work out maybe 15 to 20 minutes before, then it's spin. So after spin, if you've done spin or any other like strenuous exercise, you're tired, you're hungry, you're all sweaty. So I go ahead, come on home, get out of my clothes, take a shower, wash my clothes immediately so they don't smell. Now, the trick to sweaty gym clothes is a little bit of baking soda, probably about a half a cup of baking soda with about a half of cup of white vinegar. The vinegar that you can get in like the gallon jug, use about a cup of that. That's just plain white vinegar. Let that sit for a little bit, and then you are good to go. It really helps to get rid of that smell. Also, I like to put in a little bit of essential oils for stinky clothes, like towels, things like that, any type of linen. I use lemongrass essential oil. It smells really great after it's washed and dried. It smells great. And then for our clothes, I actually use peppermint because it's something light, but something refreshing. It's not overbearing, especially for my kids' clothes. So I go ahead and do that, eat breakfast. On spin days, I have usually some eggs with something else. Just depends. It could be like a small amount of potatoes, grits, anything like that. I would love to hear what's your favorite meal to eat after you exercise. That way I can get some ideas and mamas can get some great ideas. Do you eat like really high protein? If you do a light exercise, something like Pilates or something like that, where you're stretching your body, it's still a workout, but not as strenuous as doing like spin or jogging or something like that. I would love to hear what you are eating. Then if it's laundry day, which Mondays are laundry day, in the morning, what I'll do is wash a load of clothes when I first wake up, because I'm trying to take care of all the laundry from the weekend and anything that I may have missed on the week prior. So I wash a load in the morning. I wash a load when I get back from the gym. Then once that's washed and dried, I go ahead and wash another load. So probably on Mondays, I may wash up to 4 loads of clothes and hopefully fold them up. If I don't, I'll leave the small remaining amount till Tuesday to fold up. I'm trying to think. And then really just trying to straighten up. So I also, last week I donated, they had like this big, it's almost like puzzle pieces, but you could make different things with it. I donated that. They hadn't played with it in several months. I think the last time they played with it, they invited people, I'm talking about they invited that sounds funny. They had a play date with some of their friends, but they didn't even use it to build anything. When I came back home from work, because it was over the weekend, they were using it like to slide and stuff with. The only thing is, it's really slippery, so it is a possibility somebody could get hurt just walking on it. Like I said, they were sliding on it like it was a slide, so you really got to be careful with it. But anyway, I donated it. Made sure I gave it to someone that was really gonna appreciate it. Donated some other toys. As I mentioned before on my podcast, the girls have a really good habit of putting things in our donation area when they don't want it. So I went ahead and donated that, and I had some old items of mine that I needed to donate as well. And then really just making sure the house looks tidy, making sure the trash is dumped. My husband usually walks it down. I'm trying to think. And then the biggest thing, if I want to do a weekly menu, I go ahead and do that. That way I don't have to think so hard about what's for dinner every single day. Like at 4 o'clock, what's for dinner at 5 o'clock. So I try not to do that. And then once I've cleaned up, tidied up, I'm trying to think. Probably checked any personal emails that I may have gotten that I skipped over the weekend while I was at work. And then it's time to get the kids again. So on Mondays it's good because we're not rushed for anything. I usually let them come home. Sometimes they'll ride their bikes. And then, while I'm cooking or getting things together, they'll come in, have a snack, or they'll have a snack in the car. Really just depends on how they're feeling, or if I actually remember to get a snack, because sometimes I'll forget to get a snack. But it, just depends. And then about 5 o'clock, if we don't have anything to do, I go ahead and come in the house, start fixing dinner. We've started this thing where we'll ask them to go ahead and take a shower at like 5. That really helps out. After they've done their homework, they really, they don't have much to do. They kind of just want to watch TV, but I'm like, I don't want them to just sit and continually watch TV. So they have the option of going up, taking a shower, go ahead, get your clothes ready for the next day. Make sure you have your bottoms and your top picked out, your socks. If you need to wear a belt, make sure that's out. That way we don't have to rush in the morning with those things. So now, if they're taking a shower, that's great. I can go ahead and cook. They come down, eat, still have a few more minutes to play before bedtime. Like they may do Legos, color. They love doing like little dance routines. Get that done. And then we don't have to worry about that hustle and bustle of the nighttime routine. After we're done, they go up. All they have to do is brush their teeth. If they forgot anything like lotion or anything like that, they can go ahead and wrap it up with that. We can read a book. We're doing that by 7:30 instead of trying to do that by 8 o'clock. Everybody's sleepy, yawning, whatever. So they go ahead and read a book. And then that is actually it. That is great. So once my kids go to sleep, I'm either recording a podcast like I'm doing now, or the other thing I may do, I seldom watch TV for the most part during the week. I will check out a podcast that I like to listen to. I love Wall Street Trappers podcast. That comes on every Tuesday. And then Market Mondays, that comes on Mondays. And if it's something that I like or something that I miss, I'll go ahead and catch up on it. I will watch a little bit of TV. Meghan Markle's show, and I can't think of the name of the actual title. I was trying to catch up on that. I think I watched about 2 episodes of the new season, but Love that show. Leave a comment. Let me know yay or nay to Meghan Markle's her show. I think it's great. The things she do, I love little crafty things like that around the house. So I really enjoy the show. I would love to know what your day looks like, Mama. Are you rushing all day? Or I would like to know, please give me some feedback just hearing about my day. Did you pick up any tips or tricks? If so, you can join us on Patreon, our Mamas and Manny's Patreon. That way we can definitely dive deep and talk about any hacks that you may have. Like, what's your hack for the child that doesn't want to get up in the morning? Or you may say, oh, I'm so happy that you mentioned this. Having them take a shower an hour and a half early really has helped out with the afternoon or the evening routine. Is not as chaotic. So would love to hear that. You can leave your comment here. Definitely ask any questions if you have them. Leave your suggestions and your hacks that you have so other mamas can take advantage of those. And definitely you can join us on Patreon so we can talk about more in detail things that I use on a daily basis to kind of help me sneak in some mama time, as well as what things I do to help out around the house. I can also tell you about a few things I picked up from the Dollar Tree that I saw, of course, on social media, but that will definitely help throughout the home. Remember to share, like, hit the bell for notifications. Follow us on all social media platforms. Leave your comments, leave the feedback, share this with another mama. I am excited about the mama community that we are building. Would love for you to join us. And remember that me time is essential and it is never selfish. Have a great week, mamas.